So, I figured why don't I take a second just to kind of share, some of my thoughts on, the playoffs, the NFL playoffs. Just because, I've been noticing a lot of times, on sports, video games, and more, I let Chris talk, and that's fine. I mean, he's got a lot to say, but I was just thinking, why don't I take a minute, maybe 30 minutes or however long it takes, and kind of just share some stuff, because I got to watch at least some of every, playoff game that happened this weekend, and, it was great. I haven't got to really watch some of every single game in a long time, especially because there's too many teams playing during the season. But the Bills, really took it to the Patriots. I mean, if I'm in the AFC, I'm even if I'm the Chiefs, I'm a little bit nervous, but the Chiefs looked really good as well, took care of business. It's tough for teams like the Eagles, they're NFC, but I think it was the Tampa Bay that took them out. But let me see, who did the Chiefs play? I'm trying to remember who they played. Chiefs. I don't remember because the Titans are next week. And let me look up really fast the NFL playoffs, just really fast. NFL playoff black brackets. And let me hope that it loads okay. Let me see here. I just think, the Patriots got majorly dismantled. I don't think that most people thought it would go down like that. The Bucs look like they're figuring it out. Packers are going to be, I expect them to be really good. They'll probably be in the NFC Championship. I think they'll probably do better than the Rams. The Cardinals were just very much a big disappointment. But I think people are starting to expect that now. Like going into next year, they took forever this year to prove that, they were like the best team, And then once people started trying to get on board, then they, started losing. So, it's going to take, I don't know, even if they start winning most of their games next year, I think that, the Cardinals are really going to have people downing them. People are not going to be thinking that they're that good, even if they start winning most of their games. So, unfortunately, when you're in that situation, there's not much you can do. So, Kyler Murray, is he talented? Yes. I've heard that he's not even 5'11", so he's shorter than Breeze. And Breeze was successful, but, that's probably about as much as you could do, and, so it's, that's probably the limit, what Breeze's height was, but, I just think, the more that you're looking at, these different people, and you're looking at the players, and you're looking at, like, Kingsbury, is he going to be back? I think the Raiders is the other AFC the team that I was thinking about, right? Well, no, because the Bengals and Raiders played, which, don't get me started on Joe Burrow. I think a lot of people, expected more out of the Super Wild Card weekend. I think they really did, but here's the thing, so with Joe Burrow, they didn't exactly dominate, but because the Raiders still did a little bit of stuff, but on a smaller scale of domination, I would say the Bengals, it's fair to say they did, because they were clearly the better team, but I don't know that you would call it dominate. Yeah. Excuse me. But, the Bengals are super strong. The Bills are super strong. And then you got, and then you got the Buccaneers are a strong team as well. And then you got, 49ers look like a decent team. I don't know how much they're going to do. I really don't. But, that's the thing, though. With Shanahan, he kind of turned it around. And you really don't feel like you can count them out, is the thing. And, I think when you're looking at the Niners, they have a little bit of momentum. But, they're going to have to get past the Packers. They're going to have to get past which I think is more doable than some of the other teams maybe. But the Rams, it's just going to be... It's going to be really interesting, see how it all shakes out. Because the Rams are a really good team. 49ers are decent. Buccaneers are really good. So that's another team that the 49ers are going to have to get past. And you still got, the Packers aren't even in the mix. They're going to be playing the 49ers. So I think that could be a tough game. Bengals are going to be playing the Titans, which, as far as I know, I believe that Travis Henry's back. So that, I don't know what the matchup is like between the two teams. I don't know if it's not a good matchup for one of the teams or what, but I just feel like, in part, everybody wants a bye, but part of the problem is, these teams that were on fire for wild card, they're gonna keep rolling possibly, whereas these other guys had to sit out a week. So is that gonna play a part? It remains to be seen, but it wouldn't be the first time that played a part, in the NFL playoffs. So, you look at the Giants when they beat the Patriots, probably both times they were probably wild card team, So, it's one of those things, But yeah, you got Bengals, you got Titans. I would think that the Bengals, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they beat the Titans. And I could be totally wrong. I will find out. And I feel like the Packers beat the 49ers. And then you got Rams at Buccaneers, right? And I do feel like the Buccaneers are probably more the favorite. And that's who I'm going to take, because I like Stafford. I like Sean McVay. I could see good things in their future. But, Stafford's been up and down. He really has been. And so I'm going to go Buccaneers on that one. And then you got the Bills at the Chiefs. So, I think, I'm kind of riding with the Bills winning the Super Bowl this year. That's who I've decided is going to do it. Just based off of, they got the momentum right now. The Chiefs have finally got to where they're rolling over people, and they've got it all figured out now and all that. But, I'm not going with them to get back to the Super Bowl this year. And that's kind of where we sit with all that. We got, 8 teams left. The other teams were knocked out. The Cardinals got a lot of work to do. I think Kingsbury, they should probably move away from him. I keep hearing things about how their offensive scheme just kind of weird. And that's not what you need. You need bam, bam, bam. You're scoring touchdowns. Your scheme's not talked about in a negative way ever. That type of thing. So I think they should move on from him. There's talk about maybe the GM on Mike Florio's podcast, PFT. They were talking about that, and it's like, no, dude, don't move on from Steve Keim. When you got a good thing, keep going with it, but you need to kind of, I don't know if you need to give him a warning or be like, look, we believe in you, but dude, be careful who you're picking here, because you've kind of biffed it on at least a few times since you've been here. The Steelers, they were talking about it on PFT also, that, the Steelers, one of them was at least, excuse me, that, the Steelers really seem like, they're just quarterback away from being something really good. So I could see that. And then the Cowboys, they got all kinds of issues. I mean, let's not even get into all that. The whole coaching thing and should they keep one of the coordinators? And I don't even know what McCarthy's doing. What's his job? Like, just warming a seat or, tearing up the grass with his shoes or what? Like, I don't even... Yeah, let's not talk about that. About the Cowboys, but Dak and some players there can get things turned around, figured out next year. I would keep most of it the same. Eagles, what do you do with Hurts? It's only his first full starting year, so I think unless you can get a really good quarterback, from free agency or whatever, I think you keep rolling with Hurts probably. And then the Patriots, obviously Mac Jones shows a lot of promise. I would get him in the weight room, see if you can beef up those arms and increase his arm strength. I'm assuming that's how that would work. But, yeah, dude, I think there's a lot of hope. The Raiders are the one that it's like, dude, the Chargers could be here next year and you're not here, and they just let go of their GM, and oh, what a mess, dude. Derek Carr's pretty much the only good thing going for him. And I mean, I'll talk about that with Chris, but whenever Chris is on the show. But yeah, I mean, it's just craziness all over the place. Just really epic, crazy, all kinds of interesting, stuff going on with the playoffs and NFL. And, I think, I really liked how Brady, was spreading the ball around, I think that he's really got a lot going for him and that team. I like that they're pulling it back together. That would be really neat for them. They're probably my favorite NFC team. I think I've said this before, probably, but but I think they're proud. Early in the year, I'd said that, but yeah, I mean, the Bucs are figuring it out. So maybe it's another Cinderella year, like running it back, oh, look, another Super Bowl win. I mean, it might be, So, anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for listening.